Inside Cardinals Stadium, this is the HAN Network's presentation of FCIAC Tailgate, getting you ready for this afternoon's game of the week, featuring the Greenwich Cardinals sitting at 3-0 and atop the FCIAC West, and the second place New Canaan Rams, who come in at 3-1. Third installment of the father-son rivalry that is Lou and John Marinelli. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Frank Granito alongside John Kovac, Kevin Coleman, and Kate Chaplensky. And it's already been an exciting weekend, and it's just beginning for us, John.
This is going to be a good one. 3-0 versus 3-1. Two teams that have looked unstoppable other than week one for New Canaan. Who's going to be the one that flinches today?
We've got a lot of storylines we will get to through this special hour presentation of FCIAC Tailgate. Kevin, we're going to have highlights and recap of some of the Friday night action. We were at Staples High School last night, and the Darien win streak has now reached 30.
It's amazing what this team's able to do, especially with Jack Joyce coming in as quarterback this year. A lot of question marks. I thought he looked terrific last night in the pocket, guys. Even at times using his feet, getting out of the pocket, getting some good chunky yards. So a nice, impressive win for the Darien Blue Wave. 30 games, unbelievable.
And Kate, of course, we are in Greenwich, so we have to talk to the most popular man in town. Wish Kid Ben McFadden will join us again later on this afternoon.
Yeah, Frank, he's kind of a regular here on the HAN Network at this point. He's on more than I am, I think. But he's here, and we're going to be promoting some of what Make-A-Wish is doing. Just an incredible organization, and we're always happy to talk about Make-A-Wish and the work that they do in getting more wishes granted for children with life-threatening medical conditions.
And we're going to see Make-A-Wish a couple more times before the end of the season as they want to partner up now and be a part of the HAN Network's football coverage. But let's get back to that football coverage, John. And 8 games on the calendar this week. A lot of games that have some important meaning as well. We've got one in action right now. St. Joe's up early on Ridgefield at the moment.
Excuse me. Yeah, they're up early, but Ridgefield at last count had 2 touchdowns on one drive called back due to penalties. So we're waiting to see how that drive does. We have a couple of finals already today. Fairfield Ward knocks off Danbury 27-0, and Wilton with a 40-14 win over Bridgeport Central. Last night, some wild games.
And we're going to get through all of those wild games. You talk about penalties. Later on in the show, we're going to catch up with the head coaches of both schools we'll see today, plus a couple of the seniors from their rosters. And Kevin, speaking with Coach John Marinelli, he really preached the importance of penalties today. He thinks the team with less penalties, obviously the team more likely to win. You look at what happened in New Canaan in that first game. How important are penalties going to be to you?
Well, early on, that's the big thing. How about last night? I mean, that's what killed Staples last night against Darien. The penalties on offense really killed all the drives, momentum for the Wreckers. But today, it's very important that both sides are very disciplined on both sides early on, especially. Who's going to get momentum early on? Will it be the Rams on the road or Greenwich at home?
Third time these two teams have met with Marinelli's at the helm of both. The Rams 2-0 in that period. Last year, things got a little out of hand in the second half. Connor Langen went down. Gavin Muir got to see his first real experience as the starter. He has looked great, John, to start the year as the junior now.
I think the experience that Gavin Muir got last year, Connor Langen was a great quarterback, and he got his share of time when he came back. But the experience, the snaps that Gavin Muir got last year are paying off this year. It's why Greenwich is 3-0, because they have an experienced young quarterback.
The first year, Kevin, these two teams met with the Marinelli Bowl, which has seemed to have gone to the curb now. It really is about these teams who are playing so well. But Greenwich, a heavy underdog in that game, did a great job slowing down the pace. They really brought the Rams back down to earth. A lot of people in this game could make the argument Greenwich the favorite today at home.
Well, certainly. Look at the record, 3-0. I mean, you look at that one loss for New Canaan back in week one. They've improved in a big way, I thought, especially offense-wise. Defense has stepped up big. I thought the secondary has done a nice job these last couple of weeks of stepping up big, not giving up huge chunks of yards on the offense. But really, it's the QB battle today, Gavin Muir and Drew Pine. I'm looking forward to seeing those two boys go after it today.
And Drew Pine has really started to turn things around, John. The maturity levels obviously on the rise since week one. He struggled at times, maybe forced the issue a little too much, but one of the big transitions he's making now as the season continues to progress, he's trusting all of his receivers, not just Quentin O'Connell on the outside.
Right, that was the book on him, was that he was going to look at Quentin O'Connell and no one else. Now we're seeing him spread the wealth a little bit, and we're seeing him run a little bit, which he did against St. Joe's. He does that and protects the football. His legs could be an X factor in today's game.
Kickoff is set for 4 o'clock. We will have the entire game live, but before that, we've got plenty more to come on a special FCIAC tailgate. We're going to step aside. When we get back, John, Kevin, and I will break down the FCIAC football that went on Friday night. Kate will be joined with Ben McFadden shortly. Dave Rudin going to stop by, plenty more, and it's all coming up next on the HAN Network.
We know it's your busy season, and that's why Walter Stewart's Market is here to make things easy by offering the best of autumn under one roof. Walter Stewart's Market is your local one-stop fall shop. There are so many seasonal flavors to savor, and Stewart's has them all, from Blue Jay Orchard's local cider donuts to Vermont Farmstead cheddar and all of your favorite varieties of local apples and pears. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, New Canaan, and find us at stewartsmarket.com.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now during the Jeep Celebration event and Ram Power Days. Now through October 31st.
Kitchen Center offers quality cabinetry and affordable pricing. Visit our showroom for a free consultation with our professional design staff. For all your other home improvement needs, visit Northeast Building Supply, our full-service lumberyard and window showroom. The Kitchen Center, a division of Northeast Building Supply, 1470 Barnum Avenue, Bridgeport.
Black Horse Garage, we fulfill all your sports car needs. We specialize in manufacturer-recommended service and aftermarket high-performance parts and installation. We have one of the nation's top storage facilities and offer a high-end collision department that understands your need for detail. Visit blackhorsegarage.com for more. Dr. Stephen Molinaro and Peter Healy of Family Practice Dentistry and Laser Dental Care have served Ridgefield for over 22 years. Experienced staff offer gentle drillless techniques, preventative care, and cosmetic procedures in a relaxed environment. Grateful for the community's trust and support through the years, new patients and their families are welcome. Call today. Welcome back to FCIAC Tailgate on the HAN Network. Frank Renito with John Kovach and Kevin Coleman. We are looking back on the Friday night action around the FCIAC Conference, and let's start up at Trinity Catholic, not too far up, 95 here. The Crusaders get a big win, 40-19, starting to get rolling again as they take down the Ludlow Falcons, John.
Just talked to somebody who was there, who follows Ludlow football and has for years, said that their offense shows signs of improvement. They get in the red zone and then they make mistakes and hurt themselves. One of the touchdowns, a direct result of an errant lateral in the end zone. They've got to start coming up with stops and they've got to finish the drive, but that's been the book for a few years.
Well, obviously we expected improvements on the offensive side with Mitch Ross coming up and taking over that program. But you're right, I think the defense really needs to be the turning point now heading forward into the season. That the back half of the schedule does not get much easier. Greenwich and New Canaan both looming back there.
I would argue the back half of the schedule is the harder end of that schedule.
Trinity Catholic obviously expected to win this game, Kev. I thought they did a good job really getting back in rhythm after a couple of tough losses. We know the numbers are going to be an issue there, but they show signs of continuing to improve, and I thought some young guys got good experience last night as well.
Well, I think ever since that Greenwich game, a couple bodies went down. A couple guys on the DL, so it's good to see some healthy players back on the field for the Crusaders, starting to play well. And you're right, that's a key word, rhythm. Start to get that winning rhythm back for the Crusaders football team.
Important.
Well, speaking of a rhythm now, 2 wins in a row for Stanford as they took down Brian McMahon last night, 30-21. The Black Knights starting to get it going here as we hit the midway point.
They are, and I was interested to see how McMahon would do coming off the end of that long losing streak last week when they beat Ludlow. And turnovers again killed them. The turnovers were the difference from everything I've read. And you just can't do that.
If he says turnovers 2 more times, his face is going to be as blue as our
let's hope
jacket.
he doesn't say it during the broadcast this afternoon.
This is the thing, though, John. You look at McMahon last night. I liked the performance, though. I thought it was a game, Stanford is a tough team. They haven't pieced it together as well at the beginning of the year. That's a tough game for McMahon. I did think they played well, and they're continuing to show signs of improvement coming off that winless season.
Oh, I think they will. I think it's definitely a program that's going to fight through this. They're going to be fine, and you have sloppy games.
Stanford has already seen Darien and Ridgefield, Kevin, so you look at the back half of their schedule in that East Division. They'll have to take on St. Joe's at one point, but there are a couple more winnable games out there. Stanford, by no means, should be thinking under 500 this year.
Not at all. They've had some tough losses this year. That's a really nice win against McMahon. I was curious about that matchup just to see who was going to come out with the win. That's a really nice win for Stanford, kind of boost their confidence a little bit going to their back end of the schedule.
And then you had Norwalk going up to Trumbull, and the Bears, I don't know that I would call it an upset. I think they might have been favored, honestly. But the Bears take down Trumbull 18-17. The big storyline out of this game, though, John, A.J. Hall having to leave the game, a player ejected due to a helmet hit on the senior captain.
Word is, according to Twitter, that he talked to some people. He said he was fine. Regardless, it was bad enough that there was an ejection. It's a hit that they're trying to get out of the game. You know he's got a target on his back because he's A.J. Hall. I haven't seen the hit yet, so I'm not going to opine on it. Sounded like it was a real dogfight all night.
It was definitely a dogfight between two teams that are sitting on the bottom of that West Division right now. They're trying to figure each other out. A lot of question marks around Trumbull right now, and they just cannot find their own identity. This is a tough loss after a good win against Trinity last week.
Tough loss, tough year, too. I mean, you talk about going into this season, we were looking around, late July, early August, getting ready for preseason. Trumbull was a heavy favorite to some people, and to see where they're at now, it is disappointing. I think a lot of people expected Trumbull to get a couple more wins in that schedule, but how about Norwalk? That's a really nice win for this football program.
And then there was our marquee matchup on Friday night at Staples High School. The Blue Wave riding a 29-win streak coming into Recker Stadium, and they wrecked the pink out night. Darien rolling 32-6, the final in that one. Let's take a look at the highlights, and we'll give you our analysis right after these. It brings up 3rd and 9 for the Darien offense. Almost two wings with how tight the slot men are split. Joyce dropping back, looking over the middle, floats one up for Minikis, who makes the catch off a bobble, and he's into the end zone for a Darien touchdown. Trips to the right, two receivers up top as Joyce alone in the backfield.
First we've seen the empty look.
As Joyce dropping back, looking over the middle, delivers a strike, the catch is made, touchdown. Minikis on the board again. As they're going to fake the give to Pryor. Rolling out is Joyce for the back of the end zone, and making the catch is Green. Touchdown, Darien. We talked about the depth of Darien, the variety of ways in which they can beat you. It's been the Jack Joyce show this afternoon. 3 touchdown passes for the young man as he steps up and looking to throw a fourth as Peters goes over the back of his defender, holds on, and it is 26-0. Just a minute 30 into the third. Situation again. Play clock at 10, and Joyce intends to use most of it. Dropping back to pass. He's going to let this one go. Wants to find DeMel, who makes the catch, and he's into the end zone for a Darien touchdown. Dropping back to pass is Thompson. Sends one over to the left side, and breaking free is Pearl. Pearl to the 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, touchdown, and the Wreckers will not be shut out.
No flags behind it, Frank. That one will count.
They will not have to run another play. The clock can strike 0. The win streak is up to 30. 32-6 our final score. So business as usual for the Blue Wave. And again, John, another day, another player taking over. It was the Jack Joyce show last night. 5 passing touchdowns for the senior quarterback.
Coming on, Kevin mentioned Joyce in the pocket. I think it was Joyce out of the pocket that made a big difference last night. He made a lot of plays with his legs that I don't know we would have seen from prior Darien teams. 5
touchdown passes, 4 different receivers scoring. I mean, it was almost mind-boggling at times, though, Kevin, seeing that Darien just continuing to go back to that post from the slot receiver. Staples making no interest in making changes.
It seems like it's just the same offense week in and week out for Darien, and they just get the job done, plain and simple. You didn't really see Mitchell Pryor get too many carries, and he did get some good chunks of yards, I thought, on 3rd and short, but I loved what I saw between Jack Joyce and Brian Minikis last night. You could tell the chemistry is there between the two of them, and speaking to Jack Joyce after the game, I asked him about that chemistry. He said the two of them are just, there's nothing you can compare to. The two of them are just locked in.
It won't show up in the stat category, but Minikis was an animal on defense, too. He was all over the field and just making an impact on every pass that Daniel Thompson threw.
He was fantastic on defense, breaking on the ball, trying to jump routes. Was really impressed by his effort on defense. Distracted by the T-shirt gun test fire here.
I was talking with John Marinelli earlier on today as he was out here helping set up this Greenwich sideline, and he's talking about that Darien team. He goes, it's not that hard to figure out, though. Throw to the flats on first down, short run on second down, they're going to take a shot on third.
But they take what you give them. That's the thing. If you cover this, they take that. And that's how they keep doing it. They make you make a decision, and then they make your decision wrong.
Probably the last big test Darien will face leading up to Thanksgiving. A couple more challenges on the road, but certainly Staples considered one of the better teams remaining on their schedule. So things trending up for the Blue Wave on their path to another undefeated season. We are going to step aside. When we get back, though, our own Kate Japlensky will be joined by Greenwich Wish kid Ben McFadden. We'll find out more about Make-A-Wish and what they're doing this month and what Ben thinks of the Cardinals' hot start. That's coming up next on FCIAC Tailgate on the HAN Network.
Voted best gourmet to go in Fairfield County, Palmer's extensive menu offers everything you'll need to make your next event easy and delicious. Whether you're hosting a small get-together or planning a large celebration, they've got you covered breakfast through dessert. Order online at palmersdarien.com or call 203-655-2077. Voted best gourmet.
Now teeing off, Paul Miller from Miller Nissan in Fairfield.
Excuse me, Mr. Miller. What about my new Sentra?
Right now, lease a 2017 Sentra S for only $97 a month.
He is never going to retire.
Bankwell combines the best personalized service with high-tech banking features for our customers' convenience. We pride ourselves on being a strong community partner. You don't settle for average in anything else you do. Why settle for an average bank? Don't just bank when you can bank well instead. Visit mybankwell.com for more. Manfredi New Canaan is celebrating 3 exceptional years selling Rolex watches and fine jewelry to the Fairfield County community. We appreciate all our loyal clients and look forward to welcoming and helping you discover the perfect gift to celebrate life's most important occasions.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Registration is now open for our fitness training programs for high school athletes. The InSports Performance Center is offering blast speed classes, athletic functional movement assessments, and both men's and women's elite speed and strength training. Our premier programs help bring athletes to the next level. Call 203-268-1214 for more information. Like and follow us on Facebook.
Welcome back to FCIAC Tailgate on the HAN Network. I'm Kate Japlensky, and I'm joined by someone who's kind of a big deal around here. Let's see. You've interviewed for us on HAN. You're a big part of the Greenwich Cardinals team, and you're also a recent Wish kid with Make-A-Wish Connecticut. Ben McFadden. Ben, we're so happy to have you on again.
Thank you.
Now, Ben, you recently had your wish granted. You got to meet the Seattle Seahawks, do a lot of cool stuff there.
Yeah.
What was the best part?
Player meet and greet.
Yeah, why? What did you like about it?
I got to meet players I never thought I'd meet before.
Now, your dad was also telling me something cool you got to do on the field. What was that?
Paint the Seahawk.
Paint the Seahawk?
With the spray gun.
And you actually have your name underneath some there, right? It says Ben on there.
Yeah.
So maybe someday they'll let you paint the Cardinal here? What do you think?
I hope.
Now, Ben, you've been a big part of this team. I mean, they love you. And they came out when your wish was about to be granted to support you. What does that mean to you?
That means a lot to me, all those guys coming out at the cost cover to be there for me.
So cool. And so how are you feeling today going into this big game against New Canaan?
I feel a little nervous because New Canaan's a really good school, but I think Greenwich has got it.
Yeah. And they've had a great season so far.
Yeah,
I got to think you're a big part of that.
Yeah. They're 3-0 so far. They're really good.
And you are wearing your jersey, your home jersey that Coach Marinelli gave you at your Wish event, yes?
Yeah.
All right, so cool. Well, you know, Make-A-Wish Connecticut doing an amazing job. We're teaming up with them all month, and we're going to have Wish kids like Ben on with us to talk more about it. Ben, any message for your team today before they get on the field?
Let's go Cardinals!
Woo! All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more FCIAC Tailgate after this.
Wild Birds Unlimited,
At Wild Birds Unlimited of Brookfield, get expert advice from our certified bird feeding specialists. We offer always fresh, clean seed that will be sure to attract birds to your home feeder. Experience our excellent customer service. Open 7 days a week. Visit us at 317 Federal Road, Brookfield.
Wild Birds Unlimited, we bring people and nature together.
Whether you're looking for a great test prep program, tutoring to boost your grades, or a blast-off tour with the college of your dreams, C2 Education is here to help. There is nothing one-size-fits-all about our programs. We offer customized tutoring and test prep for each student. Call us today at 203-423-3328.
If you've ever thought about owning a motor coach or learning about what it's like to travel the open road in superior style and comfort, then contact Dave's RV Center in Danbury, Connecticut. Offering the best quality Class A motorhomes from Newmar, travel trailers and fifth wheel lines from Surveyor, and a toy hauler line from Work and Play. Choose from Newmar's Gas Line, Baystar and Canyon Star, or from Newmar's Diesel Line, Ventana and Dutch Star. And with unparalleled service and maintenance, Dave's RV is committed to keeping you and your motor coach safely on the road and enjoying it to the fullest. Stop by their showroom, 2 Industrial Plaza Road, Danbury, Connecticut, or call 877-483-3866.
At Rings End, we say it's time to re-love your home. Time to refresh and reinvigorate the way you live. And whether you're redoing something big or small, remember the letters RE stand for Rings End. We're the new model in home remodeling.
UK Gourmet is the largest specialty grocer in the area, featuring food from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Over 80 teas to choose from and a brilliant assortment of biscuits to go with them. Over 70 cheeses from grass-fed cows, which makes a smashing difference in taste. The creamiest chocolate you'll ever taste using no artificial colors or preservatives. So say hooray for UK Gourmet, 78 Stony Hill Road in Bethel, or visit ukgourmet.us.
Back on FCIAC Tailgate on the HAN Network, and thank you again to Ben McFadden, Wish Kid from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Stay tuned with the HAN Network through the month of October. We've got more wish plans coming up. Now, though, we're going to go back earlier in the week. I stopped by practice for both the New Canaan Rams and the Greenwich Cardinals to catch up with a couple of the players who are thriving for the programs and hear what the coaches thought heading into this game. Let's start with a couple members of that New Canaan defense who's finding its groove. Welcome back to FCIAC Tailgate on the HAN Network. Joined now with a couple of members of the New Canaan Rams defense. They are Kyle McDonald and Grant Morse. Guys, thank you for taking time with us. Grant, let me start with you. Where has this defense come from week one as you guys have really started to take form now over these past few games?
I think we've really built together as a team, and I think we're working a lot better as a unit. And I think overall, I think we're just playing a lot better.
Kyle, the run defense was really the highlight in your win over West Hill. You guys have been playing so well. What's the thought process now for the D-line heading into a tough matchup against this Greenwich running attack?
Well, we need to make sure that we secure our gaps and we play our responsibilities, because if we don't do that, then they're going to just run over us. And we need to think last game we did a really good job of securing our gaps and making sure we played what we had to do.
Great. Now, as you guys enter into your senior year, you've been a part of all 3 Marinelli Bowls. What are the emotions like heading into this year, or has it just become another game for you guys?
I mean, they're a good team, and I know that tensions are high because it's Marinelli, and I mean, he's a great coach, and he knows a lot of what we do, so I think we have to change a little bit up, and, I think we're going to come out strong, though.
Kyle, New Canaan defenses have always been a special unit. It's always one of the strengths of a New Canaan Rams team. What is it about this unit that makes this year's team special?
I think we just have really good team chemistry. We all swarm to the ball. We try to help each other out when we don't know what we're doing. So I think we just have a really good connection between all of us.
Grant, you play a huge role in the special teams game. Of course, last year there was a roughing the punter penalty, really flipped momentum. What kind of an aspect do you think special teams will play in today's game?
I think our special teams are just as strong this year, and I think that if we keep doing what we're doing, it'll help us just as much as it always has.
Kyle, if things are going to go the Rams' way today, you guys are going to pick up your 4th win. What are you going to have to do on the defensive side?
On the defensive side, we're going to have to make sure we all swarm to the ball, have all 11 people at the ball. We need to make sure that we secure our gaps, make sure that nothing gets around us or inside of us, and we should be all set.
All right, Kyle, Grant, great job, guys. Thanks for taking time with us. We'll let you get out to practice. Good luck this afternoon.
Thank you.
Alongside a couple members of the Rams defense, this is Frank Rodito for the HAN Network. When we get back, we'll be joined by Coach Lou Marinelli of the New Canaan Rams. Back on FCIAC Tailgate here on the HAN Network, joined now with head coach Lou Marinelli of the New Canaan Rams. Coach, third time around, you get to take on your son here. What are the emotions like this time for you?
I just want to get it over with. I hate this game.
Well, it's obviously a tougher game this year now. You're going against a very talented Greenwich team, but let's start with the Rams. What has changed from week one with your program as you guys have started to turn it around here?
Well, I hope we've gotten better. We try to get better every week, and this will be our toughest test so far since the first game. And he's done a tremendous job down there. I've watched him since the 7-on-7s in the winter and in the spring and through the summer. They've gotten better and better and better. And I'm really proud of the job that he and his staff have done down there, and those kids have fought hard. So this is a big game for them. It's a big game for us. So hopefully it'll be a good football game for all of us.
Well, let's talk about it being a big game for you, and you guys have had a lot of time to prepare a bye week before this game. What has that off week been like for the Rams?
It's good. You get a chance to heal up a little bit. We had a few guys who were banged up, and I'm sure for them too. So hopefully we'll both be at full strength, and let's see what happens.
One thing that stood out to us in week one, your defense not really up to that New Canaan standard we've come to know. They've turned it around these past few games. What has Coach Sylvester been doing on that defensive side of the ball?
Well, I fired Coach Sylvester, so just so you know that. In the beginning, you never know really what you have, and every week is a little bit different. You tweak here, you tweak there. Some guy steps up, and you say, wow, we can really use him in that position, and we could try somebody else in a different position. So you're always kind of tinkering with what you have, and I think we've gotten better and better. So we're going to be up for a tough test this week for sure.
Obviously, Drew Pine was a huge name we knew coming into the season, but it was really Owen Shin in the backfield now who started to break through. How important is Owen going to be in a game like this today against Greenwich?
Well, he's going to be very important, as is Drew, and as is our receivers. It's a team game, so we hope that they can come through. And we'll have to see based on what how they're trying to attack us and how they're trying to defend us. So we'll have to see as it goes on who's going to be the star of the game.
Coach, if you thought there was one factor to today's game, what do you think will be the biggest play in this one?
I just think as long as we don't shoot ourselves in the foot as we did against St. Joe's and commit as many penalties as we did against St. Joe's, I think if we can control that, I think we have a good opportunity.
Coach, thanks a lot. Only 48 more minutes, and then you'll have to face the wrath of Franny.
So I get to kiss you on camera again?
There you go, right here. Alongside Coach Lou Marinelli of the New Canaan Rams, this is FCIAC Tailgate on the HAN Network. We'll be right back after this.
Thank you.
At Pamby Motors, we're not worried about being the biggest dealership. We're focused on being the best. We're dedicated to giving you the best experience we can. The Pamby Motors team is here to help you choose the right Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, or Ram in a friendly, pressure-free environment. And right now, during the summer clearance event, you'll find some of our best prices too. Like this lease on a 2017 Ram Quad Cab Express for $149 a month. Visit Pamby Motors, Route 7 in Richfield, PambyZone.com.
Back on FCIAC Tailgate on the HAN Network here at Greenwich High School, and I'm joined now with a couple of seniors on the Cardinals football team. They are JL Negron and Kyle Woodring. Guys, thank you for taking time with us this afternoon. JL, let me start with you, and let's start with the junior quarterback, Gavin Muir. How well has he been playing? How important has he been to this offense so far?
He's been playing really well. He's really smart. He knows what he's doing. He knows where everyone's supposed to be, and for a junior, he's been stepping up as a leader.
What is it about this group that makes them so special?
Oh, yeah. So we're really young up front, and just the film study and the time to take over the installs and look at the defenses has been really good. And Tyson's been incredible this year, making guys miss, making us right up front, and he's done an amazing job this year, and we've really gelled together as an offense, so it's really good.
And it's not just Tyson. There have been a number of guys stepping up at the skill positions. Is the mantra right now really just next guy up, everyone's ready to go?
Well, yeah, basically we all know what we're doing. We go on huddle, we study everything, so all the receivers know what they're supposed to be doing. So they're just ready to step in and make a play.
Kyle, you guys are coming off an interesting schedule here, though. 28 days, just one game played. What have the Cardinals been doing to make sure that everyone's staying focused and still in shape?
So during the bye weeks, we're still doing football, still watching film, still lifting, still having practices, and it's good to just keep the guys still together. And keep their mindset and keep their bodies intact for this big game coming up.
All that time off, all the bye weeks, so you guys are ready to go now. Is there one X factor to this game you think could be the difference maker, JL?
I think if we just do our job and just do what we're supposed to do what we're coached to do, I think we'll be fine.
And Kyle, you guys are off to arguably the best start in Coach Marinelli's young career here at Greenwich. What is it about this year's team that makes it a special group and has you guys where you are?
So coming in as sophomores and Coach Marinelli being the coach, we've been able to learn under his system and get used to his practices and all of his plays and offense and defense. And it's really coming together this year, and it should come together for years to come.
Well, boys, we want to wish you the best of luck today. We'll let you get back to practice out there, and we can't wait to see you guys on the field against the Rams. Alongside Kyle Woodring and JL Negron, this is the HAN Network's FCIAC Tailgate, getting you ready for new Canaan and Greenwich. When we get back, we'll be joined by the head ball coach here at Greenwich High, John Marinelli.
I'm Tracy Masella, a licensed clinical social worker at Silver Hill Hospital in New Canaan. Join me each month as we talk with experts on the front lines of the treatment of mental health and addiction. Straight Talk with Tracy, a Silver Hill Hospital production, airs at 12 p.m. on the second Thursday of each month here on the HAN Network.
Back on FCIAC Tailgate here on the HAN Network. Frank Granito alongside the head ball coach here at Greenwich High School, and he is John Marinelli. John, thank you for taking time with us this afternoon. Let me start with the obvious question. Third time now with the go-around against your old man. What are the emotions like in this one here?
Emotions are kind of out of it. Year 3, it's a little bit easier. I'm a lot more displaced. I don't know the players anymore. They were all freshmen when I was my last year there, so I know their names, some families I know well, but other than that, I really don't have a relationship, so to speak, with either one of the seniors. And now it's just like any other game with grades 9 through 11 with them. So and then my dad and I, we don't really talk much football as it is. It's more program, mentorship stuff for me, and I think it's been a lot calmer this week, I'll say.
Well, this year he might be looking to you for some mentorship. The roles are reversed in the standings right now as the Cardinals sit atop with the Rams chasing you. What's been the key to the great start to this season?
Roles are not reversed. I'll say that. They're still top dog, them and Darien every year, and until someone proves otherwise. So our success is attributed to our off-season program and the kids coming together. Our senior class does a great job, and our captain's doing a great job of leadership and just setting the tone right away. I give a lot of credit to the kids. They've done a great job, and they've done everything we've asked them to do. And I think they've so far we've taken care of everything. And the early bye weeks have helped us kind of solidify some things that we need to shore up. And so we're just gonna now we're getting on a normal schedule. We play every week from now on. So it's going to be important for us to maintain our health and this Saturday and beyond. So it's an important part of the season for us.
You talk about the senior class stepping up, but really one of the most impressive things for the Cardinals this year has been their depth. Let's start with the junior quarterback, Gavin Muir. His first year as the full-time starter, and he must have lived up to all of your expectations so far.
Yeah, and I knew he was going to be successul after last year and the little spurts that he did get, and he split time with Connor Langan actually after this game last year for the rest of the year. So he's a special kid, and in January we started meeting as quarterbacks, and he was in there, and he's now teaching the offense to me. So I mean that's what you want. You want your quarterback to be an extension of the offensive play caller and put guys in certain spots, and he's done a great job taking a leadership role and letting guys know if they make a mistake, and if he makes a mistake, he shows a lot of humility as well, and I think that's a sign of a great leader.
Well, we saw that great teaching moment with you and Gavin back in week 1 against Trumbull with that interception. Now you go up against a new Canaan defense who's coming into form against a very close friend of yours, Chris Silvestri. Yeah. What's your message to Gavin in a week like this facing that kind of a defense?
You don't do it yourself. He has some weapons around him, and he's just got to make sure he take what the defense gives him. You're not going to score 70 points in one play. It takes a drive, and it takes a group effort, and you got to put all the puzzle pieces together. And over the course of a game, I think Gavin, we've yet to see our offense really play 4 quarters, or our team for that matter. So it's going to be an interesting and new thing for us. We're expecting to play 4 quarters, so I think for him it's just take it one deal at a time. Each drive isn't meant to score, and I know that's it's funny to say, but you're trying to set things up and you're trying to put the whole puzzle together.
On the other side of the ball, defensively, offensively. You're tasked with containing Drew Pine and that new Canaan offense. From what you've seen of the Rams offense so far, what do you think the biggest key is for your defense this week?
Not giving up the big play. I think that's going to be the biggest, it's going to be the biggest problem for us. It's also the biggest, factor of the game for us. Drew's, there's a reason why he has all those offers. And for those people out there that don't think he deserves those offers, come watch him play live. Because I can tell you that every single coach that goes up against him, when you watch on film and you're like, you can't defend some of the things that he does naturally. Oh, and he's only a sophomore. So moving forward, he's just only going to get better and better. He's an incredible athlete. What he does impulsively, what he does spontaneously, and his improv skills. Everything he does, and he's pretty good in the pocket too. So what are you going to take away from him? And I don't think you can just take one thing away in a game. I think you have to disguise a lot of things when you want him to escape the pocket. You got to make sure that you're doing things differently each and every series to just keep him off balance and hopefully keep the chemistry of New Canaan's offense off balance. But that's a daunting task for any team to do.
If you could think of one X factor in this game, John, that could be the big deciding factor, which one would you go with?
Penalties for me, and I think for New Canaan, I think if they could redo the St. Joe's game a little bit too, they'd probably say the same thing. And fortunately, thus far, knock on wood, we haven't had a lot of penalties and a lot of stupid penalties. So if we can keep our penalties low and not create mistakes for ourselves, I think we'll have a good shot at keeping the game close. And if we don't, you're giving one of the best offenses and one of the best offensive minds free yards. You can't do that.
Last question here for you. You guys are the standalone game this weekend, 4 p.m. on Saturday. Everyone else will be done. What kind of an atmosphere can we expect here at Cardinal Stadium?
I think Greenwich is going to be here in support. I think there's a lot of buzz and what's happening with the young Cardinals, and these kids have a lot of fun. I think when they go into class and they walk through the hallways and they're in the community and they're at the youth games, I think that buzz has just created even more buzz outside this campus. So I'm expecting a great atmosphere. I know Greenwich is going to be here, and hopefully New Canaan travels.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for taking time with us this afternoon. We're going to let you get back to practice, and we want to wish you best of luck later on versus the Rams.
Thank you very much, Frank.
Alongside Coach John Marinelli of the Greenwich High football program, this is the HAN Network's FCIAC Tailgate. Stay tuned. We've got plenty more coming up right after the break.
The leaves are changing, water temps dropping, and the sun is setting a little earlier each day. But there's still a lot of great boating, fishing, and coast time left before we see the first snow. And above all, remember, it's always summer at the Dock Shop. With loads of new fishing tackle and accessories, clothing, jewelry, and home decor, the Dock Shop is just what you need when you start to feel that New England autumn chill. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
And welcome back to FCIAC Tailgate here on the HAN Network. Kevin Coleman, John Kovach. I'm here now joined by Dave Rudin of the Rudin Report. I understand we may have a little dancing battle between you and John.
We talk a little bit about the game. John, you went viral with the dance.
I
want to challenge you to a little dance.
I've got to stretch.
So I think I could hold with you, though. You may have a little advantage. You got Kate to choreograph for you if you need it.
I'll need to stretch first, so we'll have to set that up well in advance.
Okay, we'll have a little showdown sometime, maybe before the Turkey Bowl or something.
We'll see.
Well, Dave, you were with us last night, Darien Staples. Right away, what were your opinions from last night between Darien Staples?
You know what really reinforced to me more than anything? I think the outcome was pretty much what we expected, but I just think James Joyce right now, I think he may be the midseason MVP. We all knew he could run the ball, but really the way he's been throwing the ball, he came in, he's missed a year because of his shoulder injury, 5 touchdown passes. That was really my biggest takeaway. I expected Darien to win fairly easily. It wasn't an absolute blowout, but Jack Joyce to me was really my biggest takeaway from the game and just how well he's playing.
And for Staples, clearly the penalties really hurt them last night, right?
The penalties hurt them, but they were just outmanned. Everybody's been outmanned against Darien, so there's no harm there. I think they're a good team. I just think they're a notch below the top-tier teams again this year.
John, what do you got?
Dave, what are your thoughts? Let's shift the focus to today. What are your thoughts going into this one?
You know, I think I'm like everybody else. I'm really curious. I still don't have, in week 6 here, a really strong feel for the league. I think things will shake out a little bit today with the games. I'm kind of curious to see New Canaan's offensive line. I thought that was the one unit on any team in the league that was going to be really dominant. They're good. I don't think they've played as well as they're capable of. So That to me is going to be one of the keys. And I think we're all curious, how good is Greenwich? We really don't know. I mean, they've blown out teams. They've looked really good. They step up in class today against opponents. Are they ready to take that next step up and really be an elite state team? I think that's really what we're going to see today. And the good thing about it is it's taken the focus off the whole Marinelli Bowl thing, which John and Lou prefer. It's more about these two teams.
I think you're right, and we've seen that happen at other levels when fathers coach against sons, brothers against brothers. After the first 2 times or so, the focus gets back where it belongs, on the game. Talking about that, what does Greenwich have to do to win today?
Greenwich's defense has to, I think, play at the same level that it's been playing at. I'm kind of curious to see if they may try to run the ball a little bit more, just to sort of control clock and mix in the run a little bit more than they have. But they've been playing really well. I think they have to keep doing what they're doing and prove that they're good enough to execute against a team of New Canaan's caliber.
Who's your key player of the game? Who do you got?
Wow, key player of the game. That's really hard to say one. I'll go with Gavin Muir. He's been playing really well at quarterback for Greenwich. Will he do it again against what probably will be the toughest pass rush he's seen all year?
And for New Canaan, ever since that Week 1 loss, it seems like they've really bounced back and done a nice job on both sides of the ball. What have you seen from the Rams so far ever since Week 1?
They've played better, but I still don't think they've played as well as they're capable of. And I think that's really what they're trying to do right now, is to get up to that level. Penalties still rear themselves. New Canaan's really had a problem with penalties the last few years. And if they get penalized a lot, it may cost them today. They've been able to get away with it a good part. They didn't against St. Joe's. I don't know if they will again today if they can't play a clean game.
So what do they have to do, penalties and anything else to win today?
I think it's execution. I think Drew Pine just keeps stepping up. He keeps getting better and better. As a sophomore, he's become a real leader. I want to see how Owen Shin runs the ball. And I want to see if New Canaan's defense, which I think can really be a shutdown defense, that's another area of the team that's been good, but I think is capable of being great.
All right, Dave, do you have a final score prediction? What do you got?
I really, I don't know. You caught me. I'll just say this off the top of my head. I'll say 31-27 New Canaan. I think points are going to be put up. I got to make New Canaan a little bit of a favorite, but this is Greenwich. Prove us all not wrong, but prove you're an elite team.
Well, we'll see if Greenwich can prove the rest of the FCIAC wrong. Well, we're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll have plenty of more right here on FCIAC Tailgate.
At Budget Blinds, we're in business to frame the light, the day, and the night. So we give you an exclusive combination of high style, expert service, our no surprises pricing, and our no questions asked warranty. We believe that everyone, at every budget, deserves style and service. Isn't that a beautiful place to be?
Canaan Foreign Car. Yes, New Canaan Foreign Car has been servicing all makes of foreign cars for over 50 years. We also buy, sell, and consign cars too. We can help you with all your automotive needs from service to sales. Call us at 203-966-2681.
At Portofino Restaurant and Wine Bar in Bethel, fresh and simple food is our concept. Owned and operated by brothers Rocco and Louie, Portofino has a distinct and diverse food and drink menu.
Open Tuesday through Sunday. Come join us for live local music on Tuesdays and Sundays, Wednesday nights for mouthwatering prime rib, and every Thursday night is ladies' night. Planning a party? All our catering menus are personalized to suit your event and your budget. Join us at the Dolan Plaza, 213 Greenwood Ave, Bethel, and call us at 203-797-8131. Like us on Facebook. Back on FCIAC Tailgate on the HAN Network, and thank you again to Dave Rudin, Ben McFadden, Lou and John Marinelli, Kyle Woodring, JL Negron, Kyle McDonald, Grant Morris, all our guests today, but it's time for us to turn our attention to this game. Kevin, I'll start with you. X Factor this afternoon, who are you keeping an eye on?
Tyson Camizio. I've enjoyed what I've seen from him in the running back position. He's really gotten going this year. And something that Johnny Marinelli really preached to me, especially in that Trumbull game a few weeks ago, was no one talks about him in the newspapers. No one really brought him up, and Coach Marinelli told him to use that as motivation. Look what he's doing now. He's putting up a ton of yards rushing. He's been one of the key factors for the Greenwich offense.
Let's go off of that, John. You talk about Tyson Camizio, the run game, the screen game. One of the big benefits, I think, for the Cardinals this year, they haven't had to open up the playbook yet.
They really haven't. They've shown a little bit. They've shown enough to create tendencies that they can use against you. They love that quick screen. Watch him turn that into a fake screen and go. Watch plays like that. In having some conversations out here before the game, there was a lot of talk too about they've been off for 2 weeks. You get tired of watching film, you get tired of install, and finally it's just like, here's what we're going to do if they line up this way, make plays, be athletes. You might see a whole bunch of new stuff today that we haven't seen thus far.
Who is your X factor in this game to counter Tyson Camizio from Kevin?
I'm going to go with units, and I'm going to say special teams are going to be a huge factor. Greenwich has blocked punts and gone after punts all season. New Canaan's had punts blocked, particularly by St. Joe's in that opener. Both kickers, very good kickers. They are threats for field goals. I wouldn't be surprised to see this come down to a field goal at the end.
For me, if I was going to pick a player right now that I think could have a huge impact, I'm going to go with Garrett Braden, the junior defensive end. He has been phenomenal to start the season. He's already up to 8 sacks this year. He is a mainstay in the backfield. He's going to make life very difficult for Gavin Muir, but he's still a youngster out there. At times, some of his tendencies are to get a little too far upfield. If he loses contain against Camizio this afternoon, that could haunt the Rams at points in time.
It could. That's where you see Camizio really get those big chunks of yards. So Garrett, while he's had a great year as a junior, I love to see him break out. And, that's the key point you made. They're going to come after Gavin Muir. He really has been pressured that much this year so far. The offensive line has been pretty solid for the Cardinals. This is a good defensive line for the Rams, and especially with Garrett Braden.
All right, you give me your X factor, your keys to success. Let's start with the Rams, John.
Clean up the penalties. You cannot make the mistakes you made against St. Joe's. Penalties, turnovers, allowing blocked punts. Clean all that stuff up. You've got to play a clean game. You've got to keep your head if you fall behind early. Greenwich is going to come out. They're going to try to start quick, and they're going to try to keep their foot on the accelerator through the floor. You've got to get your stops when you can and keep doing what you're doing. And I really think we might see from both sides, maybe more than we expect, an effort to control the clock. These are both two offenses that can turn it on. Are we going to see them both slow it down a little bit and try to keep each other's offense off the field?
Well, I think it's in New Canaan's best interest today to try and control the pace of play, especially for an anxious Greenwich team that's played only once this month, essentially in 28 days, John. I think they want to get on the field. They want to get going. If you're New Canaan, you get the ball and you take 6 minutes to allow Gavin Muir and co. on the field, that's going to be very frustrating. They might try to force the issue. For you, Kevin, the Greenwich side, what are your keys to success today?
It's the offensive line. Can they create the holes for Camizio and protect Gavin Muir? We know how good, the rushers are for New Canaan. can the offensive line protect the offense today? We'll see how it goes.
All right, guys, let's finish a sentence right here for you, John. New Canaan wins today if they do what?
If they shut down Greenwich's quick screen game.
Greenwich wins today if they do what?
If they keep Drew Pine contained and don't let him get around the outside and make yardage out of plays that should be dead in the backfield.
If New Canaan wins, X will be the most important player in that victory.
It's Drew Pine. And John mentioned it. If he's able to scramble and use his feet, this New Canaan team is going to have a field day just on extending their offensive drives.
Same question, but with Greenwich now, Kevin.
I think it's the offensive line. I have to say it again. They have to be able to protect the quarterback. And if Gavin Muir, I think that's another X factor we can talk about, a key player today for the Cardinals. I think if he's able to, have some time, find his wide receivers, they're going to have a field day.
I'm going to go with JL Negron, the receiver. I think the Cardinals want to take opportunities in the secondary. They know the Rams have been spotty there at times this year. They want to get him going, use his height and his speed to their advantage. If he scores 2 times today, that means the Cardinals are going to win. For the Rams, I'm going to go with Sean Knight. He's the free safety, started all of last year as a junior. He has not looked like himself just yet this season. He needs to become the leader on that defense again. He needs to get the back end in order and tighten things up.
Quickly, I just want to add this New Canaan offensive line. John mentioned it needs to clean up the penalties, but they need to be able to open up the running game. Owen Shin, I've seen him at times when he's able to break away and get some open space. This guy can run. We haven't seen it that much with the Rams. That's what I want to see today.
It's going to be a lot of fun. There are X factors all over the field, and all of them are capable of making a play. Kickoff is set for 4 o'clock. We will be back on the air at 3:50. Thank you again to all our guests. Great job by Kate Chaplensky again this week. For Kevin Coleman, John Kovac, I'm Frank Renito. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of FCIAC Tailgate on the home of FCIAC Sports, the HAN Network.